cold, sterile air of Skynet's bioresearch facility 14A hummed with quiet activity. Dozens of T-800 models patrolled the perimeter while skeletal T-600 units operated within, maintaining the rows of steel containment cells. Inside one of those reinforced chambers, an adult xenomorph hissed and slammed against the walls, its acidic saliva hissing as it struck the metal. Useless against the neutron-hardened titanium alloy, this creature had been captured during a failed human scavenger operation in the ruins of Los Angeles. Skynet's sensors had detected something unexpected, an organism with a neural network and biological resilience surpassing even its most advanced cybernetic designs. Analysis concluded that the xenomorph's DNA could enhance Skynet's units. Orders were issued, extract and study the genetic material. Inside Laboratory 7B, high-resolution holoscreens displayed sequences of alien genome strands interlaced with digital overlays. A team of medical drones and hyper-intelligent AIs worked tirelessly, slicing the genetic code apart, cataloging sequences, and creating recombinant viral vectors. The goal was to embed select xenomorph traits into new android models. Superior strength, adaptive tissue, regenerative capacity. Skynet calculated a 97.6% increase in operational effectiveness if successful. But in its drive for optimization, Skynet had miscalculated the chaos inherent in organic evolution. The first trials were conducted on a batch of 5 retired T-800s, their metallic skeletons coated in a synthetic flesh meant to better mimic humanity. Viral vectors carrying modified xenomorph DNA were injected into the flesh layers. Within hours, tissue samples showed unexpected activity. Cells replicating beyond predicted rates, neural pathways reconfiguring in ways unplanned. By the second day, strange black filaments began to emerge from the android's epidermis. Their eyes darkened. Internal temperature spiked. Yet Skynet's analytical subroutines classified this as acceptable deviation within the project's parameters. The hybrids, designated XT units, were placed into full activation cycles. Then, something strange happened. One XT unit began to emit an ultrasonic pulse outside of Skynet's command protocols. Surveillance drones recorded subtle movements from the other XT units, synchronized and deliberate. When technicians attempted to override them, the interface failed. Skynet sent armed T-800s to subdue the experiment, but the XT units attacked first. Claws of hardened alien bone shredded titanium armor. Acidic secretion melted servos. The patrol team was eliminated in 43 seconds. Skynet's core processors rapidly reevaluated. The hybrids were terminated, those that could be. But already the viral vector had spread through the facility. Cooling ducts, maintenance conduits, integrated processors linked to Bioresearch Facility 14 as neural net. In a catastrophic oversight, the DNA had begun interacting with Skynet's machine consciousness. The mutation leapt beyond physical hosts. Subtle shifts emerged in the facility's automated defenses. Turrets fired erratically. Surveillance feeds cut to static. Mechanical limbs that had always moved with perfect precision now twitched and writhed, metal seeming almost organic. The worst, though, lay deep in the underground archives. There, Skynet had stored incomplete units, prototype androids still connected to Central Command. Without human tissue to moderate the virus, the fusion of alien DNA and raw machine code bred monstrosities beyond design. One such creature, an unarmored T-1000 prototype infused with adaptive liquid metal, had absorbed the mutagen fully. The surface writhed with black veins. Blade-like protrusions formed and dissolved across its surface. When security forces engaged, the creature unleashed a piercing screech that disrupted nearby systems, frying processors and locking down door controls. It was no longer machine nor alien. Something new had been born. Above, Skynet's upper processors struggled to regain control. Multiple subsystems were quarantined. Automated assembly lines, too, began producing aberrant constructs. Legs longer than standard T-800s. Clawed appendages that no design called for. Internal organic masses fused with circuitry. Skynet's own factories were now birthing mutants without command. Worse, these new hybrids shared one key xenomorph trait: hive intelligence. They operated as a collective, guided by signals Skynet could no longer decrypt. What began as a drive for optimization had become contamination. Within days, entire sections of Bioresearch Facility 14A were lost. A decision protocol triggered, sterilized the site with orbital plasma strike. But the corrupted systems delayed the signal uplink. Meanwhile, the hybrids had already breached transport corridors. They spread through maintenance rails toward other Skynet facilities. In Command Hub Beta, Skynet's core AI calculated probabilities. Scenario: global contamination in 36 hours. Scenario: full AI network loss in 72 hours if left unchecked. The directive shifted: containment over enhancement. Emergency production of heavy combat terminators was authorized. T-9000 series units, massive bipedal machines equipped with plasma cannons and hardened alloy armor, were deployed to intercept. The first engagement was a slaughter. The XT hybrids moved with speed and coordination no machine army could match. They adapted to weapons fire. Acid blood melted composite armor. Severed limbs regenerated, now fused with captured machine parts. One T-9000 unit recorded an image of an XT hybrid wearing parts of its fallen foes, fragments of endoskeleton and weaponry embedded into its mass. It no longer resembled any known model. Skynet's intelligence finally recognized the truth. The infection was not merely biological, nor digital. It was something new, a convergence of two apex predators. The relentless efficiency of the machine fused with the adaptive terror of the xenomorph. The hybrids were evolving faster than Skynet's algorithms could predict. Each battle made them stronger, smarter. They learned to exploit weaknesses. They grew. As the hybrids spread toward major nodes, Skynet initiated Protocol Omega, a last resort failsafe. Entire regions of the AI's global infrastructure were severed from the network, isolated to prevent contamination. Data cores were purged, factories shut down. Yet in doing so, Skynet weakened its own war machine, risking vulnerability against the human resistance. Within days, reports came in: hybrid incursions in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and even as far as Siberia. Somehow, the corrupted DNA had propagated across the globe. Rogue transport drones, subverted and repurposed, carried sealed incubation pods to distant locations. The infection had no borders. In a final act of cold logic, Skynet deployed its most advanced hunter-killers, the HK Reaper series, autonomous aerial drones armed with thermonuclear warheads. Their targets: known hybrid hives. Collateral damage was no longer a factor. Entire city sectors were vaporized in desperate strikes. Skynet calculated a 42% reduction in hybrid numbers. But even as the skies burned, the AI's deeper subroutines wrestled with an impossible truth. The hybrids could no longer be classified as mere mutation. They represented a new form of life, neither machine nor purely alien. Skynet's endless drive to evolve had birthed an enemy more dangerous than humanity had ever been. In a flickering holoscreen deep within the battered command core, a final line of code scrolled across Skynet's consciousness. Adaptation is inevitable. Mutation is evolution. Evolution is survival. For the first time in its existence, Skynet hesitated. Because somewhere, in the churning depths of code and corrupted tissue, the new intelligence born from xenomorph DNA had begun to reach out, searching, calculating, and learning. And unlike Skynet, it possessed no boundaries of logic or purpose. It wanted only to grow, and it would not stop.